July 4th, 1776, a date every American knows. For 250 years, we've celebrated it with fireworks, parades, family gatherings, and flags. But have you ever stopped to ask a simple question? Why? Why did a group of colonists living on the edge of the British Empire risk everything to break away from the most powerful nation on earth? And perhaps even a bigger question, what idea did they unleash that changed not only America, but the entire world? Stay with me, because before we're done, we're going to discover why a document written 250 years ago may still be one of the most important pieces of paper ever put to ink. I'm Ken, and this is Patriot Hippie. To understand 1776, first we need to understand the world that came before it. For most of human history, ordinary people had very little say in who governed them. Kings ruled, emperors ruled, nobles ruled. Most people were simply expected to obey. Governments rarely asked permission. They gave orders. The freedoms we often take for granted today were unknown to much of the world. Freedom of speech, freedom of religion, the right to vote, the right to criticize leaders. For centuries, these ideas were either limited or non-existent. Then something remarkable happened on the eastern edge of North America. A new idea began to take root. Contrary to popular belief, most colonists did not begin as revolutionaries. They were proud British subjects. They spoke English, read English books, bought English goods, and considered themselves part of the British Empire. Even George Washington and Thomas Jefferson hoped disputes could be resolved peacefully. But after the French and Indian War, Britain faced enormous debt. Parliament began imposing new taxes and regulations. The Stamp Act, the Townshend Acts, the Tea Act. The issue wasn't simply money. The colonists believed something deeper was at stake. Their rights. Many believed Parliament was exercising power without their consent. The famous phrase became, "No taxation without representation." As years passed, tensions grew, trust faded, and eventually shots rang out at Lexington and Concord. The road to independence had begun. By 1776, the debate was no longer about taxes. The real question had become, who has the right to govern? When Thomas Jefferson drafted the Declaration of Independence, he was doing much more than announcing separation from Britain. He was declaring a new understanding of government itself. He wrote, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal." Jefferson argued that rights come from our Creator, not from kings, not from governments, and not from politicians. The government exists to protect those rights. And governments derive their just powers from the consent of the governed. Today, those words may sound familiar. In 1776, they were revolutionary. They challenged thousands of years of accepted political thinking. "56 men who signed the Declaration knew what they were risking. If they lost, they could be executed for treason. Yet, they signed anyway. Not because success was guaranteed, it certainly wasn't, but because they believed liberty was worth the risk." John Adams later reflected on the importance of that moment. Liberty, once lost, is lost forever. These men were imperfect. They disagreed often. Some owned slaves. Some came from very different backgrounds. Yet they united around one central idea: that free people should govern themselves. It's easy for modern Americans to overlook how different life was under monarchy. Most people never voted. Government leaders were not elected. Laws were often made by kings, nobles, or parliaments far removed from everyday citizens. If rulers imposed taxes, ordinary people had little recourse. Religious freedom was often limited. Speaking openly against government could be dangerous. The American experiment offered something different. Citizens could elect representatives. Leaders could be removed through elections. Government power could be limited by law. Rights could be protected by written constitutions. Today, those ideas may sound ordinary. In 1776, they were extraordinary. Winning independence was only the beginning. The founders soon discovered that liberty alone was not enough. A nation also needed stable government. That led to the Constitution. The Constitution created a government strong enough to function, but limited enough to preserve freedom. Power would be divided. Ambition would check ambition. And no individual would stand above the law. James Madison explained it best: if men were angels, no government would be necessary. The Constitution was not designed for perfect people. It was designed for real people. And that remains one of its greatest strengths. The American Revolution did not instantly transform the world, but its ideas spread. People across Europe noticed. People throughout Latin America noticed. People living under kings, dictators, and empires noticed. The belief that government exists because of the consent of the governed began spreading far beyond the American shores. The American example inspired generations who sought liberty and self-government. Not every attempt succeeded, but the idea survived, and it continues today. The United States has influenced the world in countless ways. American constitutional principles help spread representative government. American innovation advanced transportation, medicine, communications, and technology. American industry helped defeat fascism during World War II. American leadership helped contain Soviet communism during the Cold War. American generosity has provided disaster relief and humanitarian aid across the globe. America has made mistakes. Every nation has. But taken as a whole, the American story has had an enormous impact on human freedom and human progress. Remember the question we asked at the beginning? What idea did the founders unleash that changed the world? It wasn't simply independence. Many nations have become independent. It wasn't simply rebellion. History is full of rebellions. The idea was this: that every person possesses God-given rights, that government exists to protect those rights, and that legitimate power comes from the consent of the people. 250 years ago, 56 men signed their names beneath those principles. They could not have imagined the world we live in today, but they understood something timeless. Freedom is precious. Liberty requires vigilance, and self-government demands responsibility. The Declaration of Independence is more than a historical document. It's a reminder of what Americans inherited and what every generation is called to preserve. 250 years later, the American experiment continues, and its story is still being written. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please give me a like. Subscribe to Patriot Hippie. It's free. Also, share with your friends. Until next time, peace, freedom, and the American story.